Welcome to the Slice Tennis Podcast. It is April 21st as we record this, maybe the 22nd or 23rd when you're listening to it. But it doesn't matter because no matter what day of the week it is, we are here to bring you all of the things that's happening in the tennis world. And we have a lot. We've got a lot of tournaments going on right now. We've got a lot of tournaments coming up. We have some stars that we always like to highlight. Shout out Alex Eala. We have our Eala Hour. But in addition to the Eala Hour, we're going to go over the results of this past week. We'll look ahead a little bit. Steven will drop his best bet of the day to us, presented by Betway. Shout out to Betway up here in the top right of our screen. And of course, the ITIA, they love to steal the headlines, and they are back once again with something they're standing on business for. And that is, if you're a tennis player and you're showering, we're going to stand there and watch you until you pee in that cup. We don't care if you're butt naked. We don't care if you're soapy. We're going to get this test. We're going to get these results. So we're going to
watch you shower. They want to watch you shower. I can't blame them, really.
A lot of good-looking physiques out there on the
We all have
men's
intrusive
side.
thoughts, but they write them down and put it out as a press release.
Right. So we'll get into all that. And of course, we'll read the YouTube comments at the end. So if you want to have your comment featured on the Slice Tennis Podcast, drop a comment right now and you can, we will promise you, we guarantee you that it will be in next week's episode. Steven, before we even start talking about this week, we need to get into your past week. And I know we posted that Rory clip. And I think you may have some new thoughts on it, or you made some observations of some of the interactions.
Yeah, well, I thought that was a great topic for last week's show. And then on social media, on Instagram particularly, we got some great comments from pretty legendary people, I think. The main one being Robbie Koenig. So if you don't know who that name is, audience, you've definitely heard him talking. He's a South African guy, commentator for at the Grand Slams, at the ATP, WTA, and he's like, call 911. Federer's just gotten out of jail. Like, he's a classic. He says like that the mongoose on amphetamines line, which I actually don't love. It's like so out there. It's like so insane. Anyways, he's got some of the greatest calls in tennis history, and he wrote on our Instagram his thought, and I believe he said, no, I don't even have it up, but he said he gave a good comment, his perspective. But it got me thinking, what the Rory McIlroy of tennis, no one had a perfect example. But what it would be like is if Carlos Alcaraz stopped winning majors right now and didn't win a major for 11 years from his last Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And then 11 years from now won the Australian Open for the first time. That's like, I think it would be like an identical comparison, because Rory McIlroy was like top, like they were like, he could be one of the greatest of all time players. We're talking about Alcaraz like that. And he, after his first 4 majors in his very young years, they were like, this guy, is he going to get 15? Is he going to get 20?
Right.
We're saying these things with Alcaraz. So it would blow your mind if Alcaraz didn't win any majors for the next 10 years. Like, you would literally blow your mind. And that's what it was like for Rory. So then 11 years after his last major, 15 years after, or 14 years after trying to win the Masters, Rory does it again. So that is what, if you're a tennis fan, you can try and picture how that would feel for Alcaraz and his fans to win another major. I think that's what would be like the accurate comparison, if that makes sense.
I wonder if Jordan Spieth will become the next Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a few guys that kind of have like these weird droughts going on. And so we saw Justin Thomas just win at the RBC Heritage, not a major, but still a big win for him because he dropped off big time. So Jordan Spieth, we'll see. When he was cooking, it was like he was on a legendary run.
We thought we had the next Tiger.
Oh, for
just
sure.
Like in tennis, when Alcaraz starts winning it all, it's like, oh, hey, we have the next Nadal, we have the next Federer, which we still very well might. But
yeah, like, let's not. Yeah, I know. And that's a great topic for it, because like people, like, he misses what he'll like lose the Australian Open. They're like, he's cooked, like he's on the decline. But I just wanted to, I think when he won Monte Carlo and then just made the final Barcelona, we just, pumped the brakes on everything. But yeah, I would, I think responsibly, I would bet my entire life and Shepherd's future university that Alcaraz will win another major in the next 10 years.
What number do you feel confident with Alcaraz saying in the next 10 years he will have at least this many majors.
Yeah, like, and let's put something on it. Like, I get like like I have to like my hand gets chopped off or something. Like
Right.
that's like, let's make it like my right hand. Like my left hand's fine, but
You
right
can't
hand.
speak for a year.
Okay, well that's just like that's essentially a life sentence because I don't know if I could survive for a year. But yeah, like, and this is okay. Being healthy is a given. Like he has to be healthy the whole time,
Right.
like a normal amount. I feel comfortable saying 10 majors.
In the next how many years did I say? 10 years?
Did you say 10 years?
I
Yeah.
think so,
So
maybe.
that's
Yeah.
like pretty much the rest of his career. Like, yeah, I would
Right.
say comfortably 10. Sorry, he's gonna get to 10 majors. So he's gonna win 6 more at
Got
least.
yeah. Okay,
He's not gonna win
so
10 more, but like he could, like, and I think he could win like 25 or 30 total. Like, let's just be honest. But
now
yeah.
same parameters. What about Sinner?
Yeah, like
It's
less.
tough.
Like
It's
he's
tough.
at, what is he at, 3 now?
3, yeah.
Yeah, he's at 3. So yeah, I would say like comfortably I would give him like 6.
Okay, so he'll at least win 3 more majors in the next 10 years is what you'd say comfortably? Sounds low.
Like he's gonna, yeah. I know it sounds low, and the Italians might come after me, but I'm again, this is to not speak for a year, so there's
Right.
no downside to me like putting the bar low. You know what I mean?
No, I love that. Hey, that's a great question for the viewers. So
Yeah,
y'all answer that one in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to see your number.
yeah. So, anyways, my last week was spent thinking about that, thinking about the Canadian election coming up, and getting ready for the NHL playoffs, which are about to start or have started
Toronto.
actually. Toronto won. The Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, my team, are playing their first game tonight. So me and Shepard are both very nervous for that. We'll be watching it together. Other than that, we had a great Easter. So he is risen. He's risen indeed. Yeah, that was my week. Pretty chill. Lots of family, lots of friends. We had a good time. How about you, JP?
Yeah, very similar. We had an amazing Easter weekend. A lot of early mornings on the weekend, which is always good. It's always good
Yeah,
to win the morning, own the morning. Gives you way more day. So we hit a nice little sunrise walk with the church on Sunday morning, 6 a.m.
sweet.
This little hiking trail up to a nice little view. Pastor gave a nice little message to everybody. Let's see. Played some tennis actually.
Okay, how's the
And
game feeling?
dude, Sitton was in here before we started recording. Steven met her. And Sitton's a good tennis player. Her mom played professional tennis. She played at all the Grand Slams.
Wait,
Um,
wait, what?
her
You
mom was
never? I don't
pro.
think you ever told me this.
If it wouldn't shock me if I didn't. If I brought it up, it was one time, and it would
Yeah.
have been early on.
Yeah. Wait. So, like, did her mom have like a WTA ranking?
Oh yeah, she was top 60.
Bro, I did not know that. That is crazy.
So she played from the time she was 20, from 23 to like I think 29 is when she was playing. And
Right.
her mom is she has a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Nancy. She's about to turn 70. So she was playing against I always struggle saying Navratilova.
Narvatilova. Yeah.
Yes, she was playing against
Narvatilova.
Navratilova. She played against
Yeah.
her center court at the US Open.
Right. Wow.
So her maiden name Nancy Yergin. Now she's Nancy Furman,
Oh
but
yeah, I see this. Yeah, I'm literally looking out. This is insane.
she's got a Wikipedia.
Get, dude. Like, why are we interviewing her on the show?
She would come on. She would talk about it.
I don't want to pressure her or anything, but that's actually insane. So your guys' kids will have insane tennis genetics.
Hopefully, because I do think for an average person that's never had tennis lessons, I'm pretty decent.
Yeah.
But Sitton is very good. So whenever we play singles, she whoops up on me heavy. And last time we played, it was horrible. But we played doubles against another couple. Shout out Julie and Hunter. Julie
Yeah.
played college tennis at DePauw University, which is like a D2 school.
Yeah.
So she was definitely pulling some punches on some of her shots. Respect to her. But Sitton and I did win. We won 2 sets, and then we also played a tiebreak for fun. We won the tiebreak. I was hitting pretty well.
Does it get pretty
Um,
competitive?
yeah, like it was good. It's tough when you know that the other person on the other side of the net is kind of pulling some of their shots just to keep the rallies going.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it was
That's
a
not a
great
good
time.
feeling. You're like, okay, it's like this person's playing with their breakfast.
Right. Now, I was hitting it like I said, I was hitting the ball well with my forehand, so I do feel like she wasn't pulling all the way back.
Word,
But
word.
overall, it was great. The weather was perfect, and then we closed out the Sunday at actually the pastor's house. He had a potluck dinner going on for everyone, and it was hype because we had a massive egg toss, and
Okay,
it
what's an
wasn't a
egg toss?
normal.
Oh, is that the one where you try and not break it? You like throw it between each other?
And usually, you have like a partner, and you keep backing up,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
if you drop your egg, you fall out. But this one was just chaos egg toss. You got to yell the person's name you're throwing it to, and there's also like 70 eggs. So it was chaos. There was kids there that were going crazy, cracking the egg on their head.
Yeah,
So it was a good time though. Great week.
sounds like a great time. Glad you had a great week. I just looked it up. So Nancy Jurgen, yeah, made the third round of the U.S. Open in 1982, second round of Wimbledon. That's crazy. That is crazy.
She's a
Legit.
beast, dude. We went out onto the court with her one time, and she's had she just recently had some knee surgery, all the stuff. Her knee is very bad right now, and the way that she hits the ball is
Yeah,
crazy.
you can tell.
You can tell it's so easy. It comes off still like at a really good pace. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, if we played right now, you would whoop me. And you can barely move.
JP's mother-in-law would whoop his butt on the tennis court with one leg.
Yes.
We love that.
We love
We
that.
love that. Well, glad you had a good week. Great week to be alive for both of us. And yeah, I think that brings us to our best bet of the day.
Our best bet of the day, which is presented by Betway. Hit it ace with Betway. Get up to $200 if your first bet loses, plus 50 bonus spins no matter the result. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section below to create an account and redeem that very offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply, and this offer is not available in Ontario, and you must be 19 and up to play. And as always, please play responsibly.
Play responsibly. What I'm looking at here for my best bet of the day, which is the WTA Madrid outright winner, because we love an outright pick.
Yep.
They aren't being. I don't think Betway is being responsible with these odds that they're giving most recent WTA 500 winner Elina Ostapenko. So for Madrid and the conditions, you got to think about Madrid. High elevation. They always talk about it. So the ball flies through the air a bit quicker than other clay. So it's like kind of faster clay conditions. She just came from Stuttgart, which is in Germany. So it's probably at least mild elevation. And that's indoor. So typically you would think it's going to be faster clay as well. She just beat Sabalenka in the final and Swiatek for a sixth time in a row. So she literally owns her, which is hilarious. Sabalenka's plus 300 to win. Swiatek's plus 300 to win. And Mira Andreeva's plus 900 to win. Those are the top three. Way down the list is Yelena Ostapenko at plus 2,000 to win.
Wow.
After she just beat everyone in Stuttgart. So, I mean, Lightning doesn't normally strike twice, but it's not like she won the French Open in 2018, I believe. So it's like she's won big tournaments on clay before. So I think that's like an obvious pick to potentially cash out of as well. So plus 2,000, best bet of the day, Yelena Ostapenko.
I know that is interesting, and the odds are way too high. You see a little bit where they're coming from because she is such a win a major, lose first round of the next 3 tournaments, and then beat the top 5 players in a row in the next ones.
Yeah.
What worries me is she got a Porsche?
Yes.
She got the Porsche. I'm looking it up right now, Steven. Stuttgart is 17 hours and 48 minutes away from Madrid. If she decides to drive, because we know she loves that car, I don't know if she's going to be feeling her best by the time she gets out of it.
That's a long drive. That is a long drive. I wonder what they do with that car because they think at the Porsche Grand Prix, it's like the whole tournament's like the Porsche tournament.
Yeah.
And they just win this car. I wonder how that like logistically works. Are you like, hey, manager, here's my keys. Like, see you in Madrid. I'm flying. Like the manager's like,
Dude, being a tennis player, tennis and golf for sure is the worst sport to own a car in. Like you never get to drive the car that you love
right,
because you're always gone. Tennis
right.
players literally get to drive their car for 3 weeks out of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're I saw a video of Grigor Dimitrov driving his like McLaren around Monte
Yeah.
Carlo because that's like his home tournament. So like all these guys are just staying at home and
Yeah.
coming to lose first round at Monte Carlo because they're partying too much. But yeah. Anyways, that's my pick for the best bet of the day. I like
Love it.
that plus 2,000. Like she's got to win at least a couple rounds. I guess we could look at the draw, but I don't have it in front of me. But anyways, I think that brings us to our staying on the WTA trend, Eala hour, JP.
Yes.
Did you see any of the results from last week with Eala? I know she got, she was in Portugal.
She was in Portugal. I saw that she lost in that second round.
Yeah.
Which was a heartbreaker because in that first round she got delayed and she was down a break, I believe. She won the first set and then was down a break in the second set.
Yeah.
And then she turned it up, won that match. Things were looking good. Things were looking hot. She gets to that next round. Unfortunately, she suffered a loss, but it's all good. It's important to win that match. I got to believe that in that first match is when your nerves are most high because you probably feel all of the pressure. Like, I have to win this. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks we're going to win it.
For sure. Yeah.
So love that. But coming up for her could be it's a tough draw. What does it look like for her?
Well, yeah, I was looking through the Madrid draw. I was like looking for the wild cards because she's gonna get one. Again, because Madrid IMG tournament, IMG client. But I think really if it was any tournament, like you gotta give the biggest story in women's tennis the wild card if
Right.
you like are a business person at all. But so she gets drawn on the very bottom of the draw. So she'll play Victoria Tomava from Bulgaria, who is ranked number 64 in the world. She's
Mm,
30 years old, so it's like the total opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like
right.
veteran player on the WTA versus upstart. So if I'm an Alex Eala fan, that makes me a little nervous because if you're 30 years old, you're not going to feel this. You have less to lose, I would say, at this stage than Alex Eala might feel like she does, even though
Right.
in reality she should just go there and swing for the fences. So that's a tough first round opponent, but if she can get through her, which she can get through anyone because we've seen her almost literally do that, she would play Iga Swiatek on clay, and that Iga would be looking for revenge after Miami
Right.
because Iga does not. She's very competitive. I love the salt that Iga brings sometimes, and she would not like losing to Eala the first time, and definitely would not want to lose twice. The second being on her favorite surface, being clay. So tough draw, like you say, for Alex Eala, but the Madrid conditions, like I was saying, are potentially in her favor. From the ground, she likes to take the ball early, be aggressive, and the attacking tennis can pay off a bit more in Madrid than other clay surfaces. So I think she's got the puncher's chance. I was going to say the swinger's chance. It's not really a
Yeah,
thing.
and imagine what a win does to the already insane ride that she's on. If she
Yeah.
beats Swiatek in the second round, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because then it's like when the top seeds go down in these draws, then in these quarters, then it's really like a can opener because then
Right.
you're like she can beat anyone. So, anyways, I'm just excited to see her on like the big stage again.
Yep.
That's and Portugal, it's funny. It's a funny concept seeing like the Filipino media being like, okay, they're like, all right, we're covering Alex Allen now. Where's Oeiras? Okay, it's in Portugal. How do we get there? Where's the
Right.
tournament at? Okay, we're gonna go.
And why do I have a
Madrid's what.
grainy footage feed of this match?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So Madrid, and I've heard the Madrid tournament's actually pretty cool. I learned this from Baseline Anastasia Ground Pass Pod. The Madrid Open on YouTube streams their qualifying matches for free.
nice.
So today and tomorrow they're going on. So check that out. But that is the Alex Eala hour on the slice. We have checked it out. If you're watching, leave your thoughts below on her tournament this coming week in Madrid.
Yes, sir. And then I guess we can go ahead and dive into the winners from this
Yeah,
past week.
go through
Shout
it.
out to the birthday boy, Alexander Zverev. He took down Ben Shelton, who Ben Shelton might have had actually stat of the tournament, where he was the first American man to make it to the semifinals of a clay court Uh, well, oh my gosh, what was it?
A clay court
Fir
500,
yes.
right?
First
Since
American man to do it,
ever? Oh, I think, yeah,
ever.
since the series of 500 started,
Exactly.
which is crazy. The clay's been tough to the American males. Let's just
I
say that.
know Clay's been tough, but happy for Zverev. Always good to see him get a little bit of momentum going into some bigger tournaments. I know last week you have mentioned you do believe he will win a Grand Slam
Yep.
at some point in his career. So to see him win in the hometown, in the home country, always good.
And not common. Like, he's often done poorly there because I think of the home pressure, but he's had just like a terrible run of form in general. So since the Australian Open, so this is a little bright spot for him. Yeah, heading
Yeah,
into to Madrid, where he's actually done well in the past because of the serving conditions.
I love it, man. Barcelona, tell us what happened between the adorable young juniors doubles partners Runa and Alcaraz.
Yeah, from Le Petit A tournament. These two guys, yeah, they've been talking. Obviously, we've talked about, Alcaraz is the name in tennis, really, on the men's side. But yeah, Runa gets him in a great match. We did break this down on the Slice on just a full show. We saw some of the clips. Runa was playing super confident, super controlled, consistent, more consistent than Alcaraz, and his game should be at the level where he's challenging Alcaraz and Sinner for these titles, but it hasn't been the last couple of years. So it's great to see him back in the winner's circle for the first time since 2023 and beating Alcaraz. That's just like such a confidence booster. If you possess the game that Runa does, you're like, oh, getting this win in a final on clay is like, yeah, you're gonna take that into their next matchup and have more belief, like, if it's at a major.
Yeah, I also saw. I think they said Alcaraz was going to get an MRI on his leg today
Yeah.
to see what issue he was dealing with. Hopefully, he's all good in time for. I don't know if he's going to play Madrid or not, but hopefully, at least French Open, he's 100% because we need that.
Yeah,
Also,
he is in the draw at Madrid, so he should be there.
love
But we'll
that.
see.
Barcelona got to be one of my favorite traditions. Jumping into the pool with all the ball kids after.
Yeah, so sick. It's like it's gotta be just refreshing. Like, I would love to just
Yeah,
jump in a pool with my sweaty clothes on after winning a tournament, falling on the clay, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, you can see how much the ball kids love it. They all like jump in there and they're like
right.
splashing on them. They're like, yeah, it's like, oh, hopefully you can touch. Like, it looks pretty chaotic in there.
Dude, I'm picturing. I'm trying to think who would be a player that would just not be about it, and it's kind of like, oh gosh, I really have to jump in here because I
Yeah,
think that optic would be hilarious.
he like fakes him out and all the kids running in there. And he's like, see, I'm going, I'm heading to Madrid.
Who would
I don't
pull
know.
it
Someone who
off?
can't swim. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully they can all swim, man, because swimming one of the best workouts out there. If you can't swim, I'm not going to feel confident putting any of my Betway money on you in a tournament.
That's right. But yeah, no, that is one of the great. I would love to get to that tournament. That Barcelona
Yeah,
tournament sounds awesome because it's A, in Barcelona. B, it's at, I believe it's just called like the Barcelona Country Club. Like, it's like the
yeah.
kind of tennis club in the city. And yeah, C, it's like right in the heart of clay swing. So I would like to, maybe next year, I've been saying this for years, I would like to do the clay swing. We've done it partially. I've done Monte Carlo, Rome before. That kind of bookends and the French Open. But love to do Barcelona. Never been there, but it looks like an awesome tournament.
But you have been to Stuttgart, right?
Yep.
And then what did you watch any of their match, Sabalenka and Ostapenko?
No, I didn't. Easter festivities were just, they were dominating me this week. But yeah, I actually saw, I think Sabalenka, that is, fun fact, that's the fourth time she's lost in the final of that tournament since 2021, I believe.
She wants that car and she just can't have it.
I just have a question for Sabalenka. Like, what is it? Is that how bad you want the Porsche? Like, that you can't really find your best stuff in that final? Do you get nervous? Do you get more nervous there than these major finals? Because that is funny. Like, and she's lost to Swiatek once or twice, which is fair. Um, but yeah, that's a tournament she's gonna keep going back to. I'm assuming until she wins and gets that car. But it might become one of those things like Rory. It might just like never happen.
Right. She cannot cave because clearly we know she has the money to buy one of those cars
Yeah.
if she really wanted it that bad.
Yeah.
Now, I will say it would be funny if she loses like 3 more finals and is like, you know what? I'm never playing this tournament again. I'm buying this car for myself. And then it's
Yes.
over. Chapter
I don't want to
closed.
see that though. I don't. If I see her driving around a Porsche, which she might already have, but if she doesn't, and I see her driving one around, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm like,
Yeah.
you just cut through the system. We know you can buy it. You got to go. The whole thing is you got to go win the car, and she's right there. She's been in the final 4 times in the last 5 years, so she does well at the tournament. She's just gotta get over the line.
Do we need to cut up a video of the Fast and Furious when Paul Walker goes the other way from Vin Diesel, and do we need to put Ostapenko in the Porsche as Paul Walker and Sabalenka in the other car as Vin Diesel, and it just drives off? That we could just never have it.
I don't know if Jacob can if that's in his wheelhouse, but if he can, we'll see if he can do that.
We
Producer
need that.
Jacob.
I only have one other bone to pick about that whole match
Okay.
because I saw some idiot freaking Twitter burner account slow motion video of their handshake at the net, and he was like basically saying how Sabalenka is such a bad sport, and it was. And then when you go watch the full clip, the full 14-second clip, as if that was too long already, you see that it's like it's all good. And of course, you see the post-match press conference and Sabalenka is being Sabalenka and joking around and congratulating her and everything. And I'm like, this guy, man, these rage baiters are crazy. I'm like, of all people, too. Come on.
Yeah, no, I know. And people just will like to make a story out of nothing. Like, remember at the Australian Open when she lost, she did that, smash the racket right afterwards. People are like all getting up about it. I had a huge tweet about how I have no problem with that. Like, Ostapenko, for one, is someone who's had more salty handshakes than anyone, so she's not offended.
Right.
And if you just like that's someone who's just like, maybe I can get some clicks here by saying this, but weak. That's weak ass. So we don't. We love that. We love the Ostapenko win. Love that tournament. So that's good stuff.
And then what's our last one that we have here? I know you sent me the clip.
Yes. So yes, Elina Svitolina wins the Rouen WTA 250. She won it without dropping a set. Kind of just she was the number 1 seed and just played like the number 1 seed. Beat everyone. No sets dropped. And then her husband, Gael Monfils, cooks her when they get to Madrid. And I guess she had like ordered an Uber XL, and in his funny French, language and accent, like he's just like, he's like doing what I feel like you could tell they have a great relationship because he can make fun of her like this, where he's just like, oh, okay, here's my wife. She's winning tournaments now. Now we do Uber XL. Like he's trying to stick to the family budget. And she's like, I'm taking the big bus now. That was just hilarious.
Dude, and the fact that it was just only her and I guess her coach on there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The minute he found out, he went from his room down to the lobby out and just immediately started filming. It was like, I'm about to cook her.
No more regular Ubers. She's above this now. She's winning 250s. Like we're on another level. Like,
dude, they have to. The next video we need to see is them taking 2 separate Ubers. Monfils just in the Uber X, and then Svitolina in the Uber XL or Uber Black.
Yeah, Uber XL or Black, and then or Gail's just in like the tournament car that's free for them. So she's like, there should be a tournament car there anyways for someone like Svitolina, which is hilarious. So she's like, no, free option, no, thank you. Uber XL.
We are Ubering.
Very funny, but gets the W in Rouen, France, and now is looking to play in Madrid and potentially make a run.
Love it. So should we get into the biggest headline of the last week or so?
We should. And talk about making a run for it. Do you want to read the quote, or should we summarize it? Should you summarize it for the audience?
We can read it for them. Because to me it's almost funnier that this was truly typed out by a person and then approved by another person. Right. Hey man, looks good. Let's go ahead and send it out. And this is what they decided was a good idea to send out. On behalf of the International Tennis Integrity Agency, we are sharing important updates to the tennis anti-doping program. Mm-hmm. Showering, in bold, underlined. The ITIA, and previously the ITIF has worked hard to ensure that showers following matches can amount to a permissible delay to doping control, particularly when not showering could have a detrimental effect on the health and well-being of a player. However, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast. Showering is not an entitlement. And it is for this reason that the ITIA kindly requests that when showering, players adhere to the requirement to stay in full view of the chaperone observing them at all times. If a player is not comfortable being witnessed whilst showering, we would suggest that the consideration is given to whether a shower is necessary before providing a doping control sample. Failure to remain in full view of the chaperone will be taken extremely seriously by the ITIA. And that
So
was
crazy.
approved.
So that was approved. So is it crazier the way that it was worded to you, or the fact that they watched them shower?
All of it is crazy. Just because, man, I may, you know what? Maybe it's the way that it's worded. Because I love showering is not an entitlement. And for this reason, ITA kindly request that when showering, players adhere to the requirements to stay in the full view of the chaperone.
Yeah, like
So
it just
showering
seems
is not an entitlement.
it's not a
That's
human right.
hilarious. Not a human right.
Like you're not entitled to shower. Like that's just even like a weird way to put it. Like anyways, I put a few examples. So there's a bunch of reactions. I think people who don't understand the doping protocols in general are like, wait, what? These people want to watch you shower? Which is crazy. And it's crazy you're talking about it, like, because you could say all this without even using the word shower. You could
Right.
say you must provide a doping sample before doing anything else after the match.
Exactly.
And we're gonna follow you. And so that's what it is. It's they will the person. So if you don't know, you finish a match and there's someone from the ITIA will say, hey, you've been selected for a random doping control test. So you need to provide a sample of your urine immediately after the match. So sometimes I guess players would go shower and then I wouldn't watch them there. But there's actually great examples that I've seen on Twitter of other people talking about this. Like it, theoretically, if the person's not watching, you could pee out your urine in the shower. No one can really see you. So
Right.
anyways, but there's the wording of it is so crazy because it's if you in doping controls, like the player, like I've heard that the doping control people actually watch you take the sample. Like I think it's like gender match. So like there's a guy watching me
Right.
take the sample, but they like watch the pee come out of my body into the cup. So if you can imagine that, they're like seeing your junk, they're seeing
Right.
everything, and vice versa. So that's already like shower, like what then watching you shower isn't like more intrusive than that. Maybe a bit more like weird because you're like, is this like enjoyable for you?
Right.
But so it's all and as Mar or what's her name on the sheet there said, Renee Stubbs says, quote, we always have had to shower with the door open. The drug testing people were there with us every minute from the moment we walked off court, including watching a shower. I don't know why they're putting this out now, which kind of goes to your point. It's just like, it seems just like a PR unforced error.
Right. And there's way too many of these from them. And also, if you're a guy, there's got to be one dude out there that's like, all right, this is what you want to do. I'm facing the dude and I'm holding eye contact while I'm peeing in the cup. And then I'm gonna hand it to him. Like this is what you wanted? This is you happy? Are you satisfied?
You're like missing
Because
the cup the whole time. You're like, you like put it up. It's like empty.
right. Shower for an hour just locked in.
Yeah. No, and then yeah, like it just seems so funny. Like they are the subject of the lawsuit from the PTPA,
Right.
and I don't
What
think there's
timing?
anything wrong with what they're doing here. I want clean tennis. I want the doping protocols to be very
Right.
stringent, but this is just like you could have just one sentence. You could say showering has been a loophole used by players to delay the doping
Right.
controlled sample post matches. So no longer will players allowed to be shower before passing a doping control. But they said it. They're like, and then they say, if you want to shower, you can prepare to get watched. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Man,
that's pretty
you
understandable.
said
They
it
just said it in
perfect.
such a funny way.
You said it perfectly. It's an unforced error.
Unforced error. But yeah, if you're watching this and you didn't know about any of this doping controls, like leave your comments down below and like what you think, because when I first learned about it, it blew my mind. It's like, wait, they actually watch you like pass it, but like people who are doing doping, it's a pretty crazy scheme they have to go through till they'll like swap urine in from someone else.
Yeah,
So like, oh, I'm going to the shower, or I'm gonna go take my sample, and just like grab somebody else's sample out of their bag and swap it out. Like, yeah, it's a whole thing for sure. So the ITIA is doing their best to catch dopers and like match fixers. That's like kind of their main
right.
thing. But
You
yeah,
can't criticize the lack of effort.
you can't. Yeah, that's right. You want them to be doing as much effort, but maybe we need to help them with their PR notices. Like, I would do that for free. Just tell me the message you're trying to get across, and I think I could give you a better way to say it than that.
Who do you think they dread drug testing after a match the most?
Like, who's gonna put up the biggest fuss?
Yeah, or make it the most awkward. Like you got to believe like Bublik would be weird about it, or would like
Yeah, like
he might would do the stare down.
he might do the stare down. I would say like maybe Djokovic would not appreciate being hounded like immediately after a match,
True, definitely if
or if
you're
they
like
want
one
to.
of the top guys.
Yeah, and but I think also these top guys get tested a bit more, is what I've heard, and like
100%.
so they're used to it, whatever. But it doesn't. It seems like not a big deal to me. Like, just go take a piss. Like, you don't have to shower immediately. Like, you see a lot of times these guys go do press conferences and they clearly haven't showered yet. So
Right.
it's
Yeah, the move is truly just, hey guys, before you shower, take this piss test.
yeah, and just take it as quick as you can, because we're gonna follow you until you take it. So if it's like
Right.
one day afterwards, we're gonna be sitting with you at dinner and on the plane. Like, it's just makes
I
it
wonder
awkward
what
for everyone.
I wonder what the longest time period is.
It's like 3 days. Like, this guy's just standing in the room while the guy's sleeping. He's like, "You better not be wetting your bed. We're actually taking all your sheets off, and you're not getting any
Uh,
sheets tonight, brother."
you just wake up, dude tries to slide the cup under if you're wetting your bed. Like, bro,
He's like,
yo, that is funny.
yeah. So, anyways, that was a wild. That's just like one of those stories. My criticism of being in tennis media is there's not enough to talk about on the day to
Right.
day, the week to week in tennis. So we make these stories up out of nothing. Like, covering hockey, for example, or football, like, you have all these stories of trades,
Right.
inter-team like drama, all like way more players to talk about at the top of the game. You
Yeah.
have all these storylines. Tennis is kind of like the same group of people each week in a different place. So if someone's like, "Hey, this person like drew a smiley face on the beach with their finger," like, that's a
Yeah,
new
right.
story in tennis. You're just trying to like make stuff up. So when something like this drops, it's like you get a lot of lip service for it, but it's really a bit of a nothing burger
Nothing burger all the way.
at the end of the day. There's
Should
definitely
we
gonna be
get
people out there who are like, they should not be watching them shower." And it's like, unfortunately, people are crazy enough that I feel like you have to if you want to actually catch people who are doping.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure the vetting process to become hopefully the vetting process to become a drug tester is a serious one because there's be some creeps in there.
Well, that's like what I would love to know what the vetting process is. If
Yeah.
clearly the vetting process for their PR people is not that intense. So I would hope their
Stay
vetting process,
vigilant.
yeah, exactly. For the tester would be more hardcore. Like, what do you think some of like the screening questions would be for a tester?
I wonder if it would be almost like a baseline one that would be like, "Hey, do you keep up with tennis? Do you know who they are?"
Yeah.
And you say,
And
"Yes." Okay. Who are your favorite players?
yeah,
So then you make sure they don't go drug test them.
right. Or you almost like don't even want them to be a fan of tennis.
Exactly.
You're like, "I love tennis. I'm a huge fan." You're like, maybe I'll just keep this person out of the showers with this."
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna do actually? I'm gonna ask the person interviewing them, say, "Hey, what is the name of your 5th grade teacher?" They'll tell
okay.
me, I'm gonna reach out to the 5th grade teacher, I'm gonna ask, "Is this guy a snitch?" And if the answer is yes, I'm hiring him. If the answer is no, he's out.
They're like, "No, we never heard anything from him. He was always getting in trouble in the field, and when asked about it, was saying nothing." It's like, don't need him. Don't need him.
Yep, we're good.
That's gotta be a crazy, like, job posting. It's like, "ITIA drug tester, we're looking to hire people."
Job requirements,
Yeah,
showering with players.
yeah. Not having any thoughts about the scene you're seeing. Not having any
Yeah.
thoughts, being completely uninterested. Yeah, it is. That's a funny one for this week, I think. Should we dive into our comments from our loyal listeners on the last week's podcast?
Let's get into the comments. You said there's about 15 of them.
That's right. I think so.
We love that.
So
I'm gonna try to pull up the comments as you hit this first one.
sounds good. So we got Ophelia Garcia, something else. They say, thanks for always featuring Alex. Love from Canada. Love it. We got an Alex Eala fan in Canada. You love to
You
see it.
love to see the Canadians pull up. All right. I'm
That's
on
right.
here now.
Look at how
This
fast
next
he is.
one is from Jun VG5017.
Yeah.
Alex Eala is becoming popular and playing much better now. More power, guys. Watching from Metro Manila, Philippines. Let's go. Shout out Metro Manila.
Let's go. Metro Manila. I'm sure that means like in the city. I
Yeah.
want to know more about Manila. Like it must be massive.
Right.
Like, because we already know the population of the Philippines is high, over 100 million. Manila,
Manila.
14 million. Wait, the metro area population of Manila in 2022 was 14 million, which is crazy. That's like essentially New York. That's big time. All right, Lane 777, faithful commenter says Feast, Tsitsipas, and Runa all looking solid so far in Barcelona. This was 4 days ago, so great call there on Runa winning the whole thing. But I am an Alcaraz fan through and through. So much rising talent.
Love that. Next one, G Babs. Go Alex Eala. Love it, Jeb.
Love it, Jeb. Geo Air Travel says, suggestion, guys, during the week's events segments, it would be great to display the tournament draws and comment about the Rocket popcorn matchups. Keep up. Fair enough, Geo. I actually do that in the previews for the big tournaments on the regular show. So check there for that. But sometimes we just have too much to cover in these podcasts.
Love that. Shout out Geo Air Travel. Always for the slice, trying to make the slice better and doing his part or her part in boosting us in the algorithm. So we always appreciate that. The next one we got from Filipina Sanquilayan. Filipina Sanquilayan, and it's a nice little Alex Eala heart emoji.
That's all you need. Just a simple one. Love it. Collega, I just realized I'm at 2% on the laptop. Not doing great. And I don't have any charger here. But Collega says, I love JP's facial expressions. Love you guys. Heart. Greetings from Austria in the mountains. The beautiful Alps.
Whoa.
I know about those Alps. So we're living in Switzerland. We love Austria. Looks like an amazing country.
Collega, you just made my day. And I promise you, if I'm ever in Austria, which I hope to be one day, we're meeting up and we're going. You're going to show me something about Austria, and it's going to be incredible. We're going to get some good Austrian food together.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to you, Collega. Let's see. Burn Tabs, 8-4. He did a nice little timestamp for us. 8:57, Alex Eala hour, heart eyes emoji. Shout out to you.
Burn Tab is there for it. At Celine Garcia says, so Steven, who is the Roger Federer of golf? Who is the Rafa of golf? You need to tell us too. Here's hoping Alex's momentum will keep on going. We wonder how her week was over after Miami. Vamos, Alex. Todo el mundo está encantado contigo. Don't know what I just said, but so you could have really gotten me there, but I think I said it pretty well, JP. I don't know about you.
Yeah, sounded good.
So Roger Federer of golf, to me, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. Nadal would be who? Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah, something like that. Jack Nicklaus, or maybe Phil Mickelson. I don't know if that's disrespectful to Rafa, but Federer is the Tiger of golf because he doesn't have the most majors, but in my opinion, he's the greatest to ever do it and the highest talent. And I think everyone knows that about Tiger, that he's really is the best to ever do it.
Yes, sir. Next one, J Brown P2P Agassi / Rory. Agassi went from 95 to 99 without a major, and then wins the French Open to complete the Grand Slam. Well done, J Brown. You understood the assignment.
Yeah. We gave a shout out on Instagram to you, J Brown, because that's a great call. So that's like, I would say, probably the best real life comparison was Agassi with that huge drought. A couple more here. Ben.
We lost him. I'll try to finish it out while he's down. The next comment is from BennyWall.MyNK. 43 match unbeaten from Australian Open to the French Open. Semifinal loss to Roger. More than Roger, 41 of 2006. Beat Rafa on Rome and Madrid final back-to-back. First and last tennis player ever to do, and that GOAT of the highest of high, 2011, Novak Djokovic. Unfortunately, Steven cannot defend himself on that one right now, but he just texted me. Yep, he said, just dropped, finish her off. And that's exactly what I'll do. Fortunately, he can't defend himself on that one. But shout out to you, Benny Wall, for commenting. And you know I love me some Novak Djokovic. Next one from Cole Thomas, 903. Vamos, Monte Carlos. I like that. We might need to rename the city after him. How many championships in Monte Carlo does Carlos Alcaraz have to get to have it renamed after him? Monte Carlos. And then the last one, another hater. But thanks for commenting. Steven, I think we have your audio, honestly. This is at Vinderker 100. There he is. For someone who runs a tennis show, you are so bad at stats, it's embarrassing. You don't even know the basic stats of Fed, your favorite player. You need to be better at slam history, Mr. Steven.
You know, I'm so happy that I made it back on here after some technical difficulties to address these allegations because they are serious, JP.
They are serious. This is your time to defend your honor.
And I said, under that, I said, where was I wrong? And of course, no receipts were shown, no points were made. But I would love to be challenged at any time, anywhere, any place to debate or to like challenge my Federer tennis knowledge because it actually is. You know, it's probably come down a little bit, but it's I would say it's elaborate, it's obtuse. I know a lot. So I think that's like, you could criticize me for a lot about my tennis knowledge on here or like the mistakes I make consistently on the show, which are many. But for the Federer, the knowing his stats, I think I know him as probably as well as anybody out there. So I appreciate the comment though.
Yeah, Vinderker. There you go, man. You have a challenge out there. You have a free pass to challenge Steven on whatever it is that you disagree with him on, and you guys can get it rolling. We'll get some debates going. Do you need to say anything to Benny Wall about him saying the highest of high is the 2011 Novak Djokovic, untouched by anybody else?
Because
I can read. It said 43 match unbeaten streak from Australian Open to French Open semifinal, lost to Roger. More than Roger's 41 of 2006. Beat Rafa on Rome and Madrid final back-to-back. First and last tennis player ever to do. And that GOAT, highest of high, 2011, Djokovic.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a fair point. I think it probably is. The run that Djokovic went on, I don't even remember that one in 2006. So I probably agree with him. I think that one in 2011 is the most impressive because he went Australian Open all the way through all these huge tournaments, beating like the best players in the world. So no disagreements there.
Love it. And I think that's it for all of our comments. So shout out to everybody that commented. Remember, if you want to be featured in next week's episode, leave you a comment. We will read it out tomorrow. And Steven, would you like to give them our last words?
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. Thank you for tuning in for the fans that are new fans because of Alex Eala. Let's wish her luck in Madrid. Wish all the players, the Canadian and the American players, luck in Madrid. It's going to be a great tournament to watch, lots of tennis. And that's all for the Slice Tennis Podcast this week.
Subscribe, 21K loading.
Let's go. See you next time.